Well, hey dudes, and welcome back to another weird and wacky episode of World Building. I am the host, Model Monstrosities. So in this video, I wanted to work on something I had an idea for. It's going to be a board game. And here are some bases for some scattered terrain I wanted to make. This one piece here didn't have much to do with the board game. I kind of just made it as some scattered terrain. But I cut out some round piece from some plastic sandpaper and glued it onto that wooden round base. And I also got this plastic toy thing that had some plastic domes that were clear. And so I tore that piece of plastic apart and got those little clear domes, spreading those little beads. Then I got these plastic plants. Man, I've been saying plastic a lot. But glued those to the wooden bases. And I had also added some texture paste, which is basically plaster, sand, and paint. And I 3D printed these little T-Rex skulls for the scatter terrain. Now the board game, I want to have half-tracks in it. So here I have a half-track that I 3D printed. As you can see, the plan is for this to be one of the characters you can play, but he is out of scale to the half-track. But if I printed the half-track to scale to him, the half-track would be pretty big, so. But, yeah, there I had put one of the T-Rex skulls on one of the bases. Here I have some cork. And I would tear that up a bit and glued it onto the base. And I also added some more of that texture base on some of them. And here is some plastic bones that I chopped up and glued to some of the bases. And here is some foam I'm cutting up. I'm carving them into little tree chunks. This is a technique that I learned from Swamp Rat Miniatures. He's got a good miniature making channel over there. I like a lot of his paint jobs and bases. Yeah, he makes some cool stuff. You should definitely go check him out. And so I added some texture to it with a wire brush, and I carved a few of them out, but I glued them onto the bases and put some wires on them and coated those in hot glue. Again, a technique I learned from Swamp Rat Miniatures. And I added some texture paste over the hot glue roots and foam. And I also glued down a misprinted thing from that half-track. And I had printed out another half-track misprint because I wanted there to be two half-tracks. I'm hoping to make 4 at one point, but for now that was just 2. And then I got out some little characters that I wanted to assemble. So essentially there's going to be 4 players, partly because there's 4 characters on the sheet, or sprue. And there are to be 2 half-tracks, hopefully 4 at some point, but I printed out 2. But yeah, it's more of a military board game where there's 4 characters, 2 teams, and each team gets a half-track, and they're fighting each other. And then I started painting. So what I would do is I would paint their skin, and then I would give them a wash of a darker version of the same color I had previously painted them. It was usually quite a bit darker, though, sometimes. For instance, here, see how much darker that is? And I think when I'm done, it makes them look almost well-painted. And then I added some military green to some of their suits. So there's a military green color team, and then there's more of a tan color. I had assembled one and painted one of these before I even started the video, because I wanted to assemble them a little while ago when I first got them, because I was a little eager to see what they would look like. And I followed the painting I had done on that one, kind of, to help the other one in the team look similar. And I was painting some of the scattered terrain as well, but I had focused on the little figures a lot. And here I was painting that sandpaper one, and I tried to avoid the plants a little with the brown on the texture paste I had put down. But I probably should have glued down the plants after I painted it. But there's that half track. That's the other one. I was painting it the military green color. I painted that one kind of a yellowy tan color. Again, I had a misprint of both of them, so I glued those to bases. And I figure when one of the half tracks gets destroyed in the board game, you can put that there as if that's the broken version. Not sure why they're like half buried in the ground, but maybe the front half blew up or something. I don't know why it would blow up though. But I dry brushed some of the brown areas, and it helped make it look more like giving it a more of a variety of color. But there I cut out a little sign that I glued onto that the piece of scatter terrain that doesn't really fit in with the rest. Not sure why I made that piece, but and then I was painting that skull, and I got them some bases. I used washers for the bases. They work pretty good. They help them stay up because they're metal and heavy. And then I did some UV resin on the little tree stumps to make it look more swampy. But then I put some static grass on some of them. And I believe that would be multiple builds completed.